episode 3 of Positive Reinforcement. Can't believe 3 weeks have already gone by. 3 weeks have gone by. 4 weeks of school have gone by. Time just doesn't care. We are all going to bow to its relentless grip at some point, and this is just proof of that. Hate to start the podcast on such a dark note, but hey, that's just what we do. Sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's depressing, whatever it is. Today I've got Diet Snapple, once again, raspberry this time. Super good. Let's go ahead and read the cap. President Warren G. Harding once lost White House china in a poker game. Imagine this being your job, like finding what's going to be on the bottom of the Snapple cap. Just jump out of the window right now, you know what I'm saying? All right, guys, so here we are. We're firing on all cylinders. There's some idioms that I just don't like. Mr. Bacon, my best bud, I bring him up every single podcast. Maybe one of these days I'll get him on here. He's the king of idioms. I mean, literally, every day, he says, I can't even remember the idiom that he says. Call a spade, he always says that one. Something about like when you get something stuck in your craw, he always says that one. I mean, he's a king of idioms. Every phrase, every other sentence he says is an idiom. It's unbelievable. Anyway, speaking of Mr. Bacon, pretty funny story. He just told me right now in the bathroom, the Men of 300 wing. He told me sixth period ended right now, and he said there's a kid right in front who was like talking or whatever, and Mr. Bacon was like, hey, guys, calm down or be quiet or whatever. And the kid was just like, what? Like giving Mr. Bacon attitude. And right in front of everybody, he was like, what, you? And he did that. And man, probably the single most funny image I could think of a teacher doing as a comeback to a kid being like, what? is doing the freaking 90s bully stuff. What's that called? Punking? So stupid. Pretty funny. Speaking of the Men of 300 wing, the bathroom. I bring up the bathroom every week so far, but hey, it's the coolest place on campus. I didn't see this. Again, Mr. Bacon did. Speaking of, I think he's messaging me right now. Okay. He's changing. We're giving out a test soon, and he's changing the question. And I'm not going to edit this out. This is real teacher life happening right in front of our eyes. Real teacher stuff. We're talking about altering a test that we don't feel comfortable with. It's all about self-improvement, guys. We're constantly a work in progress, right? Nothing is ever finished. Nothing is ever perfect. Remember I said last week, we're not experts. We're not 100% experts on anything. We could be 94% if we want, but never 100%. And we made a test 2 weeks ago. And we've been reworking the test question. We're not happy with it. That's what you always gotta have that mindset of how can it be better. And this is proof. Mr. Bacon just messaged me right now, and we're talking about how to fix the test. And I'm gonna reply to him right here, live on the podcast. Well, not live, but to you it's live. So give me 1 second because this is important. I'm changing the test questions, he said. You can check them if you want, but didn't want to leave it all to you. So look, he's trying to take the burden off my shoulders. He knows I'm a busy guy. He knows I got to do this podcast. He knows I got to entertain and deliver the information to you. I told him earlier that, Mr. Bacon, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to rework the question. I'm going to change the answers. I got it. And he's got my back, man. That's how you do it right there. I said, sounds good, dude. I'll take a look at your changes once the podcast is done. I said, I'm recording right now. By the way. Also, I spelled out, by the way. Like, I didn't put BT dub. Someone's going to try to open my door right now. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, done with that conversation. So, what was I saying? Yeah, something. Back to the staff bathroom. In the 300 bathroom, Mr. Bacon saw this. I did not see this, but equally as funny to hear about it. He walked in the bathroom and looked in the trash can, and there was a full-on book just in the garbage. It's, what was it? Getting burpy already. We're 5 minutes in, and I'm getting burpy. The Terror, I think, is the book. It's a book that turned into an AMC series. It's like a ghostly, like at sea kind of story. Anyway, it seemed like a cool story. Like, imagine being so upset with a book that you throw it in the garbage. And you're at a school. Hey, take it to the library. Put it in a classroom. Put it in the copy room. But no, whoever this person was, probably a substitute, because substitutes are abnormal, below all other human beings kind of people, threw it in the garbage. I'm just kidding. If you're a substitute, seriously, thank you for doing some of the hardest work that anybody could ever do in the field of education. Being a substitute absolutely sucks. So thank you. Anyway, just a joke there. But probably a sub took this book from another classroom and for whatever reason just hated it and threw it in the garbage can. Anyway, we have right underneath all of our headshot pictures. I always seem to stumble on that word, headshot. But right underneath all of our pictures, we have a kind of a nightstand of sorts in the works. We used to have a picture of, it's like a cat and a dog like mingling with each other on the carpet, and that used to hang right above the urinal. But now we put it up on a desk inside of the 300 bathroom. And now since we found this book in the garbage, we took it out and now it's sitting there on the desk. So it's really starting to look like a nightstand. We got to get a lamp in there. You know what? I actually took a picture. Here, take a look. There is our brand new nightstand in the 300 bathroom. So it's coming along, guys. It's a place of comfort. It's a homely environment, and we're gonna keep adding to it. And Mr. Bacon, super disrespectful, just texting me right in the middle of. He thinks he's being clever, but since I have it open, it's not working. He said, "Welcome to Ding City, baby." And then he went, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, like 5 of them. But since I have the window open, you can't hear the sound. So gotcha. Now I'm going to type this back. I had the window open the whole time. Loser, all caps. Didn't work. Anyway, let's get back to the real stuff here. I mean, this is all real. This is real life right here. Don't get me wrong. All right. So seeing that book in the trash can was hilarious. Pretty funny this morning. So Tuesday was something called Club Rush, where all the different clubs at the school, like a bunch of students in that club, and then the advisor of that club will have a table set up. Oh my God, dude. ¿Por qué? That's what he said. Man, shut up. I'm trying to film. Anyway. Okay. So anyway, Club Rush. All the clubs out there at the quad at lunch, and kids that are interested in trying to sign up for a club, they'll go to that table and fill out their information. Anyway, hey, what was the point of this story? I forgot, because Mr. Bacon just won't shut up, and now I don't know what my point of the story was. Club Rush. Let me look at my agenda. Oh, yeah. Okay. One of the newer teachers, this is his second year, Mr. Z, he started a heavy metal club, which is awesome. And their first meeting was at lunch today, and when lunch started, I was sitting at my desk, and the intercom turns on, and the lady who's making the announcement that the first meeting for the heavy metal club is happening said it so just sweetly and innocently. The very first heavy metal club will be taking place at lunch today. Like, you can't say it like that. At least when you finish it, give me one of or something over the intercom. You know, let's make it metal, people, right? Anyway, join the heavy metal club if you're interested. So, first, like, serious topic I want to get into today. 11 minutes in. I always compare teaching to stand-up comedy. Let me explain. Stand-up comics, every single night, have the same exact set. And to those who don't know how much work goes into writing a stand-up comedy set, I've never personally done stand-up. I've thought about it, but I never have. But I follow and watch all kinds of different comedians. Stand-up comedy is such an art form. Like, people don't even realize how much work and effort goes into crafting a stand-up comedy set. But anyway, the layman might go watch a stand-up comedy show and think like, oh man, this is all off the top of their head. And that's just because it's so rehearsed and so well performed that they make you think it's all off the top of their head. That's all part of the brilliance of it. But anyway, stand-up comics tour constantly. So they're doing the same hours worth of material every single night, all the time. And teaching is similar in the way because we might not be doing the same material like every day, but we do it 5, 6, 7 times a day because we have different class periods. I have 5 world literature classes every day, so I'm literally doing the same speeches, the same jokes, the same, unless they don't land, but let's be real, they land. But I'm doing the same stuff every single day, 5 times a day. And it's like stand-up comedy in the sense that if I don't deliver the lesson or a speech or instructions in the same manner every time, then I'm going to lose some students, right? So if a stand-up comic goes out and is just a hair off compared to the night before, they might not get as many laughs as they did when they really hammered home a particular joke or whatever. So stand-up comedy and teaching, very similar in that aspect. You've got to deliver every time, otherwise you're going to lose students. So try to use that metaphor in case you ever feel like you're sluggish or you're just kind of not in the groove like you were the previous class period or the previous day or whatever. Keep that in mind. Students are what matter the most there. And, you know, it also definitely lends its way to acting in that sense. It's like stand-up comedy when it comes to preparation and delivery, but it's also acting. Like, there's a literal spot in my classroom right when you walk into my room. There's this little area that I call the turn it on area. And no matter what I'm feeling, if I'm pissed off or I'm sad or I'm just frustrated about whatever it is going on in my life at the time, once I enter the turn it on area, I got to let go of all of it. And I've got to become an actor. I've got to play the role of Mr. Norris every single day. That is my movie, right? Sometimes I'm just not in the mood. And usually, kids are very intuitive and they're very good at noticing when you aren't or when you're trying to like be yourself versus when it's just natural. They can pick up on when you're not yourself or not feeling yourself. But usually I'm pretty good at hiding it. And right when I hit that mark, bam, I'm full on acting mode. And if you don't have that ability, that acting ability to put on a role, to put on a face, I don't think teaching's for you. And that's That's just me being real, guys. Like, remember what this podcast is all about. It's honesty. It's connecting with teachers. If you find it difficult to act or perform, it's going to be a rough go. Just letting you know that right now. One of the most annoying things that I hear teachers say, especially when I'm talking about a particular lesson that I'm doing, whether it be turning my classroom upside down and changing the lights and creating sound effects and wearing costumes and portraying the role of a character in a book, whatever it might be. I always hear other teachers say, well, I'm just not creative like you. I hate it. Can't stand it. Creativity is not something that you're born with. Creativity is something that you practice, just like anything else, just like a sport. Creativity is a sport to practice and get good at. I mean, I might make things look easy, but literally the night before these big lessons where I'm acting like a certain character or changing lights or doing whatever it is, I am literally practicing in the shower the night before. I'm going over the lines I'm going to say. I'm going over where I'm going to stand and how I'm going to deliver particular lines. Like, it's all rehearsed. And I put a lot of time and effort into making sure that I deliver those things effectively so the students are engaged and paying attention. If I don't do that, then it's going to come off terribly, and the kids are going to be embarrassed by the fact that, oh my gosh, this guy, like, they already do that. But it's also, like, I got one of the other teachers, Mrs. Alfine, the other day. She has a student, I guess, of mine that I used to have. And she said that the student said, yeah, Mr. Norris is weird, but a good weird, a cool weird. And that's the biggest compliment that I could ever get, right? It's the students looking at you and being like, oh my gosh, this guy, right? Is he going to be this extra all the time? A direct quote from an actual student last year. And hell yeah, I'm going to be this extra all the time. But it's like a, man, this guy's crazy, but I love it. Versus when you're not learning and honing your creativity skills, you're going to get just, oh my gosh, this person doesn't know what they're doing. Like, did they not prepare? Like, students pick up on that stuff. And if you're not preparing, it's going to show, and they're just not going to care or be responsive to it. So stop saying you're not creative, because you can be. It just takes work to prepare and become that creative person. So stop it. No more excuses. So yeah, like I compare it to, I don't know if any of you have been to Universal Studios Hollywood, but on the tram tour, you see the Norman Bates Motel and the Psycho House, and it's really cool, but they have an actual actor that comes out of the house holding the body of the woman that Norman Bates kills in the shower, and shame on me for not knowing her name off the top of my head right now. But Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. Such a great role, such a great movie. But anyway, the actor's carrying out the body, puts the body in the trunk, and then he looks up at the tram that you're driving, and he takes a knife out of his jacket and walks up to the tram. It's so cool. But then you think about it, how many trams are going within just 1 hour? 20, 25, 30? I don't know, a lot, right? So you think about how many times that guy playing Norman Bates does that little routine and tries to sell it effectively every single time. That's dedication right there. Same thing with teaching. It's acting. It's putting on a show, man, and you gotta deliver it. Otherwise, it might not be your thing, okay? So if you're not acting up there, or if you're not trying to learn how to be a better actor, you got some stuff to think about. Okay, so something else I wanted to talk about today is, I really hope I kept this tab open. Oh, I didn't. And I really don't want to look for it. Man, Let's see if I can just remember some of the names off the top of my head. But listen, might be insensitive, sure. But here in 2019, there are so many students. It's not their fault. It's the parents' fault. There's so many students that have dumb names. Just enough with these terrible names. Man, I wish I still had this article. Let me see if I can find it really quick. 2019 bad kid names. I think it was a BuzzFeed article. Kid names. BuzzFeed? Everything's blocked at Sanger High School. I hate it. Baby names. Damn it, why did I get rid of that tab? It was so funny, and now I'm totally just wasting airtime. But, like I said, this is real. This is the real stuff. We're going over 25 minutes today, everybody. We're at 21 minutes, and we've spent the last 40 seconds of me trying to look up these names. 2019 bad names. For kids? Oh my gosh. I mean, like, come on, it's got to be here somewhere. I'm not going to find it. Anyway, let's see if I can think of any of the names. One was like, it was literally like Yahines. It was like YA apostrophe Highness, HYNESS. What are you doing? Why are you naming your kid Yahines? I don't even think that's right, though. I think it's something different. It's equally dumb. What was another one? There was another one that was like Nevea, Heaven, Miracle, Hope was the entire name. Like, quit it. The last thing I want to do on the very first day of school is look at my roster and have to say out loud, Nevea, Heaven, Miracle, Hope, are you here? Oh my gosh. It's just, I'm speechless. Another one I found was, I've had a couple of Cherish names. CHERISH. That's how you spell cherish. But the one that was on this particular list was Cherish, spelled CHAIR, like a chair. So Mr. Bacon and I made the joke that it's like, hey, what are you sitting in? It's not quite a chair, not quite a sofa. It's chairish. Like, that's what the spelling looks like. Anyway, it's just so obnoxious with these names. Just what happened to like Bill and Hank and Ted and Tom? This is so racist to say. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the creativity, I guess, but let's calm down, all right? Let's calm down with the names. All right. Scaring kids is fun. Just messing with kids in general. Like, this goes back to, I think, episode 1, where I was talking about brand new teachers are so like, don't talk about biscuits, right? We're here to read. You're instantly going to lose kids if you're like that. But so many brand new teachers right out of college in their first year, they just they're afraid to do anything that is going to possibly get them in trouble. Like, it took me maybe 3 years to finally, like, hey, Like, joking around with the kids is fun. Like, that's what's going to get them on your side also. Like, scare them every now and then. Mess with them. Like, I constantly have kids that are late, and I tell them to hustle to class, and I'm screaming their name out loud right here so everyone else can hear. Like, do stuff like that. Hide in the corner when they come in and scare them to death and make them almost shit themselves. Like, that's funny. They're going to remember that kind of stuff. Do it. Don't be this just straight-laced, like, good morning, class. Welcome to world literature. Today we are going to learn about Lord of the Flies. Open your books to page 6. Hey, don't talk about biscuits. Don't talk about biscuits. You can't be that way. You gotta just be a normal person. Just mess around with them. Make them laugh, scare them, whatever. It's going to make them like you more. It's going to make them like the class more. Just be a regular person. I'm never going to stop saying that. Be yourself. I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about. I really wish I found that article, man. I really do. We're calling it 20 baby names that will be popular in 2019. Oakland. That's one. Oakland. Not spelled like the city though. Oaklynn. No, thank you. Adeline? I like that name. That's good. Here's one. Hashtag. That's the name. Hashtag. Spelled out. Hashtag. Stop it. With the names. Stop it. Caspian. Kind of cool. Not going to lie. Roman. I have a Roman this year. And I'm going to call on him every day when we read Julius Caesar. You better believe it. Carson? Why is that on this list? That's an old name. Mila? Kind of like that name. Easton? Not bad. Anyway, I think I'm done. That was a fun episode. That went by really quick. Kind of bummed that it's already over. But, I don't want to go over half an hour. We're at 27 minutes right now, almost 28. And I want to keep it consistent, What do you guys think? Leave a comment below if you'd like to see guests. I don't know how I feel about having guests on the show yet. Maybe like after 15 or 20 episodes. I feel like I got a lot to talk about before I start asking other people questions. This is my show, Like, I don't like sharing the time, especially if it's half an hour. If I do a guest thing, it's probably going to be like an hour long. And I don't know how I feel about that. But we'll see. I think I'm done. So hopefully you had a good week. If you're a teacher, if you're a student, if you're just a regular person, everyone deserves to have a good week, right? Except for, like murderers and rapists and stuff. But hopefully none of you are listening to this. That's weird to think about. Like, I have 1,400 subscribers now, and I don't have that many people in my life that I would consider like good friends. So a bunch of those people are just complete strangers listening to me probably right now. What are the chances of one of you being a straight up murderer? Like, that's weird to think about. Anyway, that's too dark. All right, so I'm done. Everybody have a good week. Drop a question in the comment if you want me to address anything or talk about anything in particular. Hopefully your school year is going good. We've got fall right around the corner, almost time to decorate. I'll be throwing up some Halloween decorations up here soon. Maybe next episode? No, probably 2 episodes left until we get some decorations back here. But yeah, I'd love to interact with you guys. Drop a comment, share the podcast if you want. If you're in college or whatever and you've got some other teacher friends that you feel might be interested in this, share it. Go ahead and send it to them. The more the merrier. We're trying to build this family, trying to build this community of teachers here. That's it. So, hey, have a great day. And remember, do not name your kid hashtag. I'd appreciate that. That's the last thing I want to say when I'm calling my roster on the very first day of school. Hashtag, you hear? Don't want to do it. So please don't name your kid hashtag. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.